shield, great sword, spear or any other melee weapon. This means that we are forced to use a heavier setup as well as maybe a flamethrower or basically the whole right side of the tree. On paper it looks great, but the performance issue comes later when we look at the other perks of the fire staff. To be a good and oppressive flamethrower, you will have to always be on top of your enemies. If you go in heavy, that would be quite a hard task. Therefore, you would need specific perks in order to achieve that. There are two perks that would give you a lot of boost in the movement speed, and those will be the accelerated flamethrower and keen speed. The first one you will always have to have on your gear because it will give you the same bonus as if you have it on the weapon, but for the second, which is the keen speed, you would not be able to place it on the Inferno. The reason for that is that you already have keenly empowered, which is the same perk bucket as the keen speed. If we look at another option, which could be the plague crits, for the flamethrower build that would be an insanely good perk to have, as we can apply a lot of anti-healing effects. However, there is a small issue again because plague crits and keenly empowered are still in the same perk bucket. Even if we want to go for Alacritus punishment, we would not be able to place that either, because we already have Vicious placed on the Inferno as well. So what are actually the perks that we are left with? Turns out that the only viable options for Inferno third perk are Keen, type of elemental damage which can be Chain, Shirking or Attunement, and of course a weapon perk. I don't want to consider Mortal Empower or Mortal Refreshing or any of the Mortal perks as a viable option, as we all know that those perks are completely dead. Before asking why you don't slot a gem socket, well, you cannot slot a gem socket either. The weapon is just made in a way that you cannot slot a gem socket on it, and of course there are some other artifacts with the same effect, same as the bow and the warhammer. These regulations, if I can call them such, are forcing the Inferno to be played in a really specific way, and this of course is limiting the weapon. I believe that the weapon would still be viable in arenas or smaller scale PvP, but if we are talking about the bigger scale where the fire staff shines, I really don't think that the fire staff Inferno will do something about it. In general, for Season 4, I believe that Fire Staff player should be looking at the three core builds which the Fire Staff is usually known for, and the playstyle is just perfect. The first one is the high DPS build of a light mage doing huge damage from distance, mainly run with Meteor Shower. With this build you can opt for either Blunderbuss or Ice Gauntlet as a secondary, and your main goal is to support your army or the clumps with a high burst of damage. The second one is the classical light mage build, which is played with Fireball, Pillar and Burnout. Again, for a secondary, your best options would be either to go with Ice Gauntlet or a Blunderbuss, but of course many people also try and play with the Rapier as they are slotting the finisher. Last but not least, the third build in which I will also heavily invest in this season would be the heavy flamethrower build. As I mentioned briefly about it, I will just say that this one is mainly aiming to support your group and apply heavy anti-heal effects, burns and roots. It's not used for that much of a damage compared to the previous two, but this one can also be played with Ice Gauntlet and Blunderbuss, and I believe that the Pestilence would be the best options for that build. I will make a separate video about each of those builds, and I will go in deeper details of why and how they work. However, today the topic is mainly related to fire staffs, and that's why we will take a look only on the fire staffs that will be used for those builds. If you want to see a specific build first, make sure to share that in the comments, or simply you can say that in my Discord community channel. Actually, there are not that many differences between the fire staffs. In general, if you are aiming to achieve high damage, the best answer for that is the flint stick. This fire staff is a named drop from the PvP track and it comes with two illegal perks. Those perks are Alacritus Punishment and Vicious. From there on, you have to decide what would be the best third perk for your type of build. Possible options for third perk could be Keen, Blade Crits, Keenly Jagged, Attunement, or even a weapon perk for all those fireball lovers. Keen will give you that extra critical hit chance, which will mean better uptime for your Vicious perk, but of course better mana management due to the fact that you gain mana from critical hits. Blade Crits is also a nice addition as it goes well with anti-heal builds, and even that you are missing the Keen on the weapon, the Keen awareness on your ring should give you enough critical chance for those 6 seconds duration on the anti-heal. Keenly Jagged would be the perfect fit for all those finisher lovers. I'm not one of them, but good luck to all those who like the combo. Attunement and Fireball as third perk on the flint stick are also really nice additions in case your aim is towards smaller scale PvP or single targets. All the mentioned options would be super nice fit to your fire staff regardless if you play in light or medium. With Meteor Shower or classical build, you would always gain enough damage so you can make sure that the flint stick is doing its job. For the flamethrower build, however, we need special attention.